107.5 WBLS, your number one source for R&B.
So just to tell you a little bit more about how your soul works, there's something called what we talk about, which is the anatomy of the soul. And inside the anatomy of the soul, there's three different parts that kind of govern who we are. One is our mind, the second thing is our ego, and the third thing is our spirit. Unfortunately, a lot of us operate from just our ego, which is the place that tells us that we're not good enough or that we're never going to be who we want to be until we get everything perfect. And I can tell you that that's just not true. Our mind, on the other hand, it's that place that we go to kind of analyze what makes sense, what's logical, what's the logical next step. Where I can tell you the true treasure comes from is when you actually connect to your spirit. And inside there is the truth. That's where you actually talk and speak to what is maybe the illogical, the something that may not be the most obvious. It's that idea that you've always felt that there was something more for you, or that there was a calling that you felt in your heart that maybe you're scared to do. Well, I can tell you that's your spirit talking to you, and it should feel like you're peaceful. It should feel like just a sense of connection to your true purpose and who you really are. So it's not a place that you'll find in fear. If you find yourself thinking, I'm scared about this, or I don't feel right about this, you're going to think and talk yourself out of all kinds of things because life has taught you to play it safe. But I can tell you, your soul knows that you're capable of anything. It will tell you not to judge yourself. It will teach you to come from a place of love, which is no judgment, which is no fear, which is, I'm going to actually test what the illogical looks like. And I'm going to allow myself to higher my vibration to the belief and the faith that there's something more for me. There's something more that's been designed, that there's a higher connection, a higher consciousness. We connect to our higher self. And that leads us to a higher vision, which is how we want to live inspired. You live inspired by connecting to your inner voice, and that's called your intuition. So what does your intuition sound like? What does it look like? Well, for some people, it can sound like a whisper. You might see it like a picture, an image when you look in your dreams. And you also might just get a feeling or a knowing. Those are all ways that we all connect with our intuition. The trick is finding, how do you connect? What is the way that you hear your inner soul's voice? Because once you can narrow down that little understanding, how do I hear my higher consciousness? How do I hear my higher self? That's going to lead you down to the path of who you really are. So let me talk about that, how it might manifest. So for me, I'm a clairvoyant, which means more dominantly, I see pictures and images that help me understand people and how they connect to who they really are. So I'll see symbols or imageries, I'll see colors, I'll see shapes, and that's just what I see. And people call it sometimes their mind's eye, which is kind of an altered place where you kind of visualize things. That might be the way you actually see things as well. So just as a tip for the day, if there's something that you're really struggling with or something that you need to make a decision about and you're like, gosh, how do I get my intuition to help me? What I would suggest you do is this. Imagine yourself in that situation. Say it's okay, I'm going to move to LA and live with this boyfriend, and I'm not sure if it's the right move for me. Imagine yourself living in LA. Imagine yourself feeling what it would feel like to be in the apartment, travel to the new job every day, be with that boyfriend every single night, and see, what do you see? Do you see yourself happy? Do you feel a sense of peace? Do you just know that it's the right thing? Those would be tips in understanding if that's the right choice for you. Now take a look on the other side. Imagine not being in LA. Imagine not being with that boyfriend and not having that job and staying exactly where you are right now. Maybe it's in New York City. How do you feel there? Do you feel like stressed? Do you feel scared? Do you feel nervous? That could be an indication that that's not where you're supposed to be anymore. Because let me tell you, your intuition will tell you through peace. And peace can't be duplicated. It can't be replicated. It just is. It's just a feeling of just knowing I'm in the right place and the right time. Now, it doesn't mean you won't be nervous or that you won't be apprehensive, because there's always something new to be discovered. But I can tell you, peace in the silence and in the quiet, and sitting through every scenario and feeling what it feels like, and letting your intuition guide you, whether with a picture or with a word or with a feeling, that's how you'll know for sure you've made the right decision.